content and material discussed in these podcasts are for informational purposes only and are not intended to be a substitute for your professional veterinarian's advice, diagnosis, or treatments. Always seek the assistance of your own veterinarian with any questions you may have regarding the medical condition of your pet.
Excuse me, are you in the know? This is a Noman.co production.
Welcome to Talking Pets Podcast. I'm Dr. Gary Clemens. Christmas is a time when children ask Santa for a pony or a puppy. Personally, neither one is a great idea because it is such a hectic time for everyone. Besides, ponies are hard to wrap, and puppies always pee in the gift box. But if a family member does have their heart set on a puppy, consider asking Santa to provide a box with a picture of the puppy for your child to open with a message saying he will drop it off at a later date. Adding a new dog to the family is a lot of hard work. Give yourself a present this year and time your puppy in a way that allows you the ability to give your new baby all your attention after the holidays. Here are my suggestions to help you acclimate to a new member of the household and what to expect on your first vet visit. I hope you enjoy my new puppy podcast and have a blessed Christmas. I'm so glad you can join me today. I want to thank everyone for the great response we've received from our previous podcast. Today, I will be discussing the techniques I taught my clients during their puppy's first veterinary visit. Most puppies are 7 to 8 weeks old when they receive their first set of puppy vaccinations. I instructed my clients to listen and not worry about taking notes because I would send home handouts describing everything I would discuss with them. Today, I will be discussing punishment, how to teach your puppy to sit, socialization, house training, destructive behavior, handling body parts, feeding, bite inhibition, bathing, brushing teeth, and nail trimming. But before I start today's podcast, I wanted to voice my opinion about puppies going to dog parks. It is very important to socialize your puppy with other dogs starting when he is 8 weeks old until he was 12 to 16 weeks old. As I will describe in this podcast, these exposures to other dogs must be experienced without your puppy becoming fearful or frightened. Don and I have 2 dogs, Archie and Annie, and occasionally I take them to a local dog park. I can honestly say good and bad things can happen there. Dog parks can have dogs of all shapes and sizes, temperaments, and activity levels. Likewise, some owners are attentive and tuned into what their dogs are doing, and other owners are totally oblivious of their dog's actions, often sitting on a bench, texting, or looking at their phone. Some dogs will be chasing each other, while others might be chasing tennis balls. Most dogs are dog-friendly, and some dogs are not. Some dogs are fearful and not dog-friendly enough to be at a dog park. Your puppy could become a hit-and-run victim of a friendly dog chasing another dog, or they could become terrified by an aggressive dog during this critical fear period. This could cause them to be fearful of other dogs for the rest of their life. For this reason, I recommend puppies under 4 months of age should not go to dog parks, and I would personally never take a very small or toy breed dog, regardless of age, to a dog park. I have personally seen in my practice too many big dog, little dog attacks. Instead of taking your puppy to a dog park, I recommend finding a friendly neighbor or family dogs to socialize your puppy with. Now let's dive into today's topic, but as a prelude, I have to say my favorite thing about the first puppy visit is the wonderful puppy breath from each and every young puppy. Okay, now we can get started. Let's talk about punishment first. For punishment to work, it must occur immediately after the behavior, and by punishment, I mean a quick no jump, no bark, or no chew. Never use physical correction. Punishment after the fact does not work because your puppy doesn't have a clue why it's being punished. You can show him a chair he chewed up hours earlier and he will cower down, but not because he knows why he's being punished. He's only responding to being screamed at and showing his submission. Dogs communicate with each other through facial expressions and body language, such as a curled lip or raised hackles over the shoulders. They read our facial expressions and body postures the same way. If you walk into a room with a "what did you do" scowl on your face, your puppy will likely cower down even if he didn't do anything wrong. Next, let's talk about how to teach your puppy to sit. It is very important to teach your puppy to sit as early as possible so you can begin the nothing in life is free or earn to learn techniques. Use a tasty treat for larger puppies or Cheerios for little dogs. Get down on the floor and hold the food at the level of the puppy's nose. Slowly push the treat just above and beyond the head towards the tail. Most puppies will lower the rear end as they look up at the treat as if to say, "Give me that treat," and when they do, say sit and give the puppy the treat. Do this several times a day and make the puppy sit for everything she wants: attention, play, or going to the door to go outside. Make sure you do this for the rest of her life. The way to keep your puppy from jumping up on you is to make her sit before she receives any attention. When friends or family members come over, give them a treat for the puppy, and when the puppy approaches, tell the friend to make the puppy sit before she gets petted. She will soon learn that unless she is sitting, she will receive no attention. Socialization. There is a critical socialization period for puppies from 2 to 3 or even 2 to 4 months of age. During this critical period, you must expose your puppy to everything that she might be exposed to when she becomes an adult dog. Expose her to small children, friendly dogs and cats, car rides, delivery people, and the employees at your veterinary clinic. Wherever you take your puppy, take some of her treats with you to reward your puppy when she's not being fearful. Try not to expose her to things that will frighten her during this period. You want her to feel, "I've been there, I've done that, I'm not afraid of it." All right, now we're going to talk about house training. That is a biggie because people get really frustrated if their puppies don't get house trained. There are many methods to house train puppies. With our own puppies, we crate them at night and keep the crate next to our bed so we can place a hand down for the puppy to smell. This allows you to hear the puppy cry if she needs to go outside to eliminate. As the puppy becomes more comfortable with the crate, you can gradually move it away from the bed and eventually to its final destination. So, if it's doing real well, move it maybe 3 feet away from the bed for a few nights, and then 4 feet away from the bed, move it to the doorway, and then eventually out into the hall, and then keep moving it once the puppy gets comfortable. I recommend taking the water away about 1 hour before bedtime and take the puppy outside to eliminate just before you put it in the crate. Do not put food or water in the crate at night. Place a fluffy blanket or a stuffed animal as long as your puppy doesn't try to eat it. Most puppies under 3 months old will have to go outside to eliminate at least once. If the puppy cries at night and has to go outside, put her on a leash, take her to the same area where she normally eliminates. This way, she can smell where she has eliminated before. Be calm and tell the puppy, go potty, or whatever command you want. When the puppy's eliminating, in a calm voice, say, "Good girl." There should be no play, no treat, and then put her back in the crate. You don't want her to get excited and want to play. First thing in the morning, take her out of the crate, grab your treats, and immediately take her outside. I always recommend keeping the treats in a little Ziploc bag right by the door you normally take her out. When your pup is peeing, say quietly, "Good girl, good girl." And when she's finished, use your happy voice to praise her and immediately give her a treat. And yes, guys, you've got to use happy voices with puppies. Don't be afraid to do that. If you hear how I train my puppies, you might frown, but the puppies love it. Give her time to poop, but if she doesn't, bring her back in to feed her. I recommend feeding the animals in a crate in the morning because that can be a very busy time in most homes. If you feed the puppy and she has to eliminate, nobody's watching, she can wander off into another room and poop on the carpet. So after she's finished eating, take her out of the crate, take your treats, and take her outside to poop. Tell her to go potty, and if she doesn't, you have 2 choices. Bring her back inside and put her in her crate for a while, or put her on a leash and have her follow you around the house. Keep taking her outside until she poops, and once she does, she's earned some free time in your home, but only with strict supervision. A little word of advice: if she does poop in the house and you don't see her go, don't even show it to her, and please don't scold her because she won't know why she's being scolded. Just pick up the poop and scold the person that was supposed to be watching her. The old method of rubbing a puppy's nose in the poop was a horrible technique that never worked. It just made the puppy fearful of their owners. Seniors or people with disabilities that cannot take their puppy outside at night when she has to go can leave the puppy in a small room like a utility room or a bathroom. Leave the cage door open and put the puppy pee pads on the floor outside the crate. It's okay to leave chew items in the crate for your puppy to chew on. The key to effective house training is to never give the puppy the opportunity to eliminate where it's not supposed to eliminate. Always use lots of praise, happy talk, and treats. And again, for seniors or people that are disabled and can't get the animals outside, particularly if you have a small dog, you can take a cardboard box, cut it so it's maybe, a foot or so higher than the puppy, and put a pee pad in the box. And then instead of going outside, you can set the puppy in the box with the pee pad and say, go potty. That way the puppy can't wander off. If you just put the pee pad on the floor, the puppy's going to keep wandering off the pee pad and you're going to have to keep putting it back on. But if it's in a cardboard box with a pee pad, the puppy has to go there. And then once she goes, do the same thing, praise the puppy, and then let it out of the box. Our friends at Odor Exit have generously offered, for our listeners only, a bottle of their amazing odor eliminating product, Odor Exit, and an ultraviolet black light to find those pet urine stains. This is a $50 value. In my 46 years as a veterinarian, I tried many products that were supposed to eliminate pet odors, but none of them worked as well as Odor Exit. Entering to win is easy. All you have to do is like and share my Facebook page, Talking Pets with Dr. Gary Clemens, with one friend. That's it. One winner will be posted monthly on my Facebook page. Good luck and thanks for sharing. Let's talk about destructive behavior. All puppies like to chew on things, so the secret to preventing destructive behavior is to give your puppy things she's allowed to chew on that are safe. Even though they get a lot of bad press, rawhide chews made in the U.S. provide hours of chewing fun without fracturing their teeth. We buy rawhide that's rolled into a stick about 1 inch thick, which will last our dogs several weeks. Also, rawhide will help clean your dog's rear teeth. The items which can break your dog's teeth are natural bones, cow hooves, and the hard nyla-type bones. Don't give your puppy items to chew on, such as stuffed animals that the puppy can destroy and swallow, causing a possible blockage. Also, if you put a stuffed animal in your puppy's crate at night and it chews to get the stuffing out, remove it. But if it doesn't, then it can keep it. It's very important to always praise your puppy whenever you see her chewing on her chew items. Dogs are used to getting scolded for chewing on things they're not supposed to chew on, but we rarely praise them for things they're allowed to chew on. If she chews up things she's not supposed to chew on and you catch her in the act, correct her and say, no chew. But if you find the item after the fact, please don't scold her. Now let's talk about handling all the animal's body parts. Handling body parts is very important. Try to touch all your puppy's body parts to desensitize her to being touched in those areas. Look in her mouth, her ears, touch her abdomen, her back legs, her back, mess with her feet, and touch each one of her toes, which will help when it's time to teach her to have her nails trimmed. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Talking Pets with Dr. Gary Clemens. The next thing we're going to be talking about is feeding schedules for your puppy. Young puppies should be fed 3 times a day. With our own pups, we gave them their first meal after taking them outside to eliminate for the first time in the morning. As I mentioned before, I recommend feeding them in their crate because most dogs have to poop soon after eating. If your pup is in the crate and she has to poop, she will usually cry, allowing you to take her out. The second meal can be fed midday if you're able, and the last meal can be fed around dinner time. If you can't feed midday, maybe you're at work or at school, then 2 meals a day are okay. A word of caution, however, toy breeds can have episodes of low blood sugar and can have a seizure if not fed often enough. In that situation, or even with bigger dogs, you can leave food out for the day for your puppy, but your pup will probably have to have a bowel movement while you're gone. And if it's in a crate and you come home to a big mess, don't be upset. If you're going to be gone all day, you shouldn't leave a puppy in a crate for 8 hours. You should put the pup in a small room like a bathroom or a utility room with the crate door open and put pee pads on the floor. When you feed your puppy, I recommend leaving the food down for 15 minutes and take it away. This way, you can more easily predict when your puppy needs to have a bowel movement. Most dogs poop 30 to 60 minutes after eating, but this can vary a lot with each puppy. I recommend keeping a journal and write down the time the puppy poops so you can figure out what their poop schedule is. Once your pup turns down the middle meal, you can eliminate it and feed the pup 2 times a day. As your pup grows older and the ribs are more prominent, increase the amount of food you are feeding. Next thing we're going to talk about is bite inhibition. All puppies love to bite on things, and they use their mouth, and those little puppy teeth are like needles. They can really hurt if they bite down on your hands, so a puppy needs to learn to be gentle with their bite. If you're playing with your puppy and she bites your hand too hard, you should yelp loudly like you're hurt. Then turn and slowly walk away and stop all play. This way your puppy soon learns she loses her playmate if she nips too hard. I think it's okay to do tug-of-war with your puppy with a hand towel or something that's not too close to your hand. But if it makes your puppy want to grab onto your pant legs or clothing and tug, then tug-of-war might not be such a good thing. Bathing. Be sure to bathe your puppy so it's not afraid of water when it gets older. I don't recommend sticking the puppy down in a full tub of water. I think it's much less fearful for a pup to spray it down with a hose, turn the water off, lather the pup up, and then turn the hose on and rinse the puppy off. But please use warm water. Using the garden hose outside can be kind of cold. Dry them with a towel, and it's okay to get them used to a hairdryer, but don't get them too frightened of it at first. Our next topic will be nail trimming. Trimming nails is very important to get the puppy used to. Buy a good pair of nail trimmers such as Miller Forge that will look like a small tree pruner, but I don't like the type that are guillotine type where the blade slides out. Just trim the tips of the nails. Initially, just trim 1 or 2 nails, then give the puppy a treat or play with her. Gradually increase how many nails you can do at one time. When you take your puppy to the vet for the first time, take your nail trimmers with you and ask one of their employees to show you how to trim the tips of the nails. Getting your puppy used to having their nails trimmed when it's young will make it much easier when the pup gets older. I can't tell you how many times we've had to have dogs in for nail trims that were almost impossible. Some of these dogs actually required sedation in order to get their nails trimmed. If you start nail trimming when the puppy is young and don't hurt the puppy and use lots of praise and food rewards, you can have a puppy that doesn't mind having its nails trimmed, whether you do it, the groomer, or your veterinary technician. Now, brushing teeth. Almost every dog will eventually need to have its teeth cleaned. Having the teeth professionally cleaned by your veterinarian, not the groomer, considering the anesthetic, the cleaning, and the monitoring, can become expensive. For this reason, it's very important to have your dog chew on things that will help clean the teeth and for you to start brushing the puppy's teeth when it's very young, just to get it used to having that done, particularly during that 8 to 16-week period. You can buy a doggy toothbrush or a child's toothbrush to use for your puppy. You can purchase doggy toothpaste from your veterinarian or from a pet store. At first, I recommend just putting a little toothpaste on your finger and rubbing it on the puppy's gums so it gets used to the taste. Eventually, put some toothpaste on the brush and brush a couple of teeth. Once the puppy's used to having that done, you can brush more teeth. Keep in mind that your puppy will lose its first puppy teeth when it's 4 months old. The incisors or the front teeth will go first, and then the remaining teeth will start coming out during the next 2 months. By 6 months of age, all the permanent teeth should be in. During this time, from 4 to 6 months of age, the pup's gums and mouth will be sensitive, so it may not be a good time for you to brush. You can, however, put toothpaste on your finger or use a very soft brush during that period. I hope you have enjoyed the things I've talked about today. When my clients come in with their new puppy, I discuss each of these items during their first visit. As I said, I send home handouts for the people to read so they can start training their puppies at home. The puppies usually return 4 weeks later when they're about 3 months old for their second vaccination, and I can always tell who's read the handout and who's done their homework. Their puppies will do automatic sits, which the owners are always proud to show me, and most of them are having some success with house training. There's an old saying in sports that you play the way you practice. The same thing happens with your puppy. The more effort you put into your puppy's first 4 months of age, the better behaved and well socialized she will be as an adult dog. I hope this information has been useful and will be a roadmap for you to raise a friendly, well socialized dog that will reward you with many years of love and pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me for today's podcast. I will post it on my Facebook page, Talking Pets with Dr. Gary Clemens. If you have questions about this podcast or suggestions about future podcasts, please post them there. So for now, I'm Dr. Gary Clemens. Please consider adopting your next pet from a rescue group or animal shelter. Spay neuter your pets, and if God's willing, I'll be back soon with another podcast at Talking Pets with Dr. Gary Clemens. And for now, so long, love your pets with all the love they deserve, and have a blessed week.